All right, folks, getting ready to get started here. I hope everyone's feeling great today. I'm really excited about today's webinar, how to provide the most value and opportunity to your agents while increasing profits and gaining more time. This is really catered to team leaders and brokers or aspiring team leaders and broker. So before we go ahead and get started, I'm just gonna do a quick intro about myself, and rather than going into what I do right away, I'm gonna just share with you kind of what I believe, and then we'll talk about how this kind of relates to our topic here today, right? So I really believe in making an impact in the lives of others. I really believe that anyone and you can create the life that you want. And I really believe that anyone, you including, can accelerate your growth if you just plug into the right resources, the right structure, the right support, and mainly the right people. And how I've come to believe these things. Growing up in a third world country, I learned all very well, the value of simple things like food and water, things that we take for granted. But I've come to learn the value of the most important thing that we take for granted, which is our life. After I was in a coma at 10 years old, and 3 days later, I miraculously woke up. And that's when I really began to understand the value of life. And I made it a mission and a purpose of mine to always seek to make a positive impact in the lives of others. And I continue to do that in real estate today. I believe that you can create the life that you want. I got my dream. I guess I got a job at a dream industry that I had in my mind. And after doing that and after doing some corporate work, I decided to leave that world so I can go begin speaking to youth and adults and really helping people appreciate their life more, value their life more, and make the most of their life. And it wasn't easy, but I had a vision of what I wanted my life to be. And I began on the journey to creating that. And I believe anyone here has the ability and the power to create the life that they want. In studying a lot of people, and I'll share with you some stories and leadership things that I've been involved with over the years. But in studying a lot of people and a lot of leaders of businesses and organizations, I've seen that people really accelerate their growth when they plug into the right resources, the right structure, the right support, and surround themselves with the right people. And I've been intentional about doing that myself, and I'd love to help you pretty much do all of that. Be intentional about making an impact in your life, being intentional about creating the life that you want, and plugging into the right things that will accelerate your growth. I'm going to give you a lot of information today on this webinar, and I'm not going to sell you anything at the end of the webinar. I'm going to offer, if you want my help to implement any of these things we talked about, and then you can schedule a call me if you would like, and we can begin doing so. In real estate, I wear a lot of different hats. So really quick, the hats I wear in real estate. I started as a real estate investor, and we have a portfolio of that generates over six figures in rental income and over a few $1 million in assets. Then I got my license as a real estate agent, and I've done pretty much any type of residential transaction you can think of, and some commercial business as well. I then used my training and development background that I've learned over the years and in the corporate world to begin training and doing instructing. So I trained and I taught now thousands of real estate agents and brokers over multiple states, which is something that I really enjoy, being able to provide people with some valuable information and resources that will help them in their business and in their life. I'm a real estate mentor. I get to mentor new agents coming into the business at my brokerage, and that's really fun doing that and kind of seeing the progress that they're making. And I'm a real estate success coach. I really just help people get from A to B. I understand where people are at and really help them get clear on the next step that they need to take, and also the resources and the things that they need to have in place in order to help them do that, right? So that's really quick, just about me and what I'm about. Let's kind of get into the topic: how to provide the most value and opportunity to your agents while increasing profits and gaining more free time. The things we're going to look at today are really three things, right? Three pillars to the solution of this. One is leadership strategy. Two is the environment that allows people to thrive or creating that environment. And three is having effective and efficient business operations, right? So if you practice a great and effective leadership strategy, if you're able to create an environment that allows people to thrive, if you are able to have effective and efficient business operations, you will be able to provide the most value and opportunity to your agents while increasing profits and gaining free time, right? So, what is a leadership strategy, or what is the leadership strategy? Um, to implement and to apply. I began studying and observing and learning and practicing leadership at a pretty young age. I had an internship right during college, right after high school. And one of the first projects I did was work on a leadership development program for managers and executives of a small media company, right? And I got to learn a lot. And over the years, leadership is something that I became very interested in, something that I practiced, something that I studied, something that I observed, something that I spent a lot of time kind of improving and also teaching. And one of the most effective strategies that I have seen in the corporate world, in the business world, for profit, even nonprofits, organizations, one of the most effective strategies I've seen is the servant leadership strategy. Okay. Servant leadership. Well, what does that look like? Here's a quick comparison of what traditional leadership looks like versus what servant leadership looks like. So, traditional leadership, an organization is structured where they focus first on the shareholders and the owners of the organization, of the company. Then they focus on serving the customers of that company. And third, is the focus on the employees or the staff of the company, right, to help them do that job. Servant leadership pretty much flips this around. And as a servant leader, the first focus is on the employees and the staff. And there is this concept, and I believe in this concept of building people in order to build profits. If you work on building the people that you have, right, and working on their growth and their well being, as they grow and as they progress, that will increase, right, the customer satisfaction that you have, and it will increase the profits for the shareholders. So again, the concept is building people, and in order to build the profits, first focus on the employees, right? And as you focus on the employees, that will lead to happy and satisfied customers, as well as happy and satisfied shareholders as well, right? Now, practicing servant leadership, over the years has been studied, and what is the effects of servant leadership, and how successful has it proven to be as a model in the business world, in managing and in leading others. And servant leadership has proven to have improved retention rates in organizations. It's proven to have increased sales productivity in organizations. It's proven to have increased engagement among employees and staff, and that's a big thing. It's proven to have increased the contribution and the involvement of people in the organization, and it has proven to have increased the satisfaction of the people in that organization. When your people are satisfied, when your people feel that they are involved and they're contributing, when your people are engaged, right, and they're putting up better numbers in terms of their sales productivity, and they're happier, they're going to stay, and that's all going to lead to company growth, and that's going to lead to happy employees, happy customers, and happy shareholders, right? So, what is your role as a leader of an organization? What is your role as a team leader or a broker? A servant leader, or a leader's role, is really to serve. Remember this quote: a leader's role is to serve. And who do you serve? You start by serving your employees, your staff, you're serving your organization, right? So, a leader's role is to serve. So, what are you focused, and what is your aim as you are serving? A servant's leader, and remember this quote, feel free to take a screenshot. A servant leader focuses first on the growth and well-being of their employees. So the first focus is on the growth and well-being of your employees, your staff, your agents, leading to achieving success for customers, shareholders, and themselves. So as a servant leader, we said that a leader's role is to serve. Okay. And a servant leader, what you're focused on is you're focused on the growth and the well-being of your employees, being your agents and your staff, which leads to the success of and happy customers, shareholders, and your success as well. Next, I'm going to show you some things that servant leaders do more of and do less of. As a servant leader, you're doing more of empowering others, coaching others, involving others more, being more inclusive, asking them questions, and listening more, right? So you're empowering, you're coaching, you're involving, you're asking, you're listening more. What you're doing less of as a certain leader, you're as a servant leader, you're doing less micromanaging, directing, excluding others, assuming, and talking. So, okay, so you're micromanaging less, directing less, excluding less, assuming less, and talking less, listening more. Okay. Next, we're going to take a look at the servant leadership mindsets and the steps to take if you are interested to be a servant leadership in your team or your brokerage or organization. Okay. So servant leadership mindsets, you have to have put yourself in the mindset of putting others first, putting those that you serve first, and make their success your goal. Okay. When they succeed, then you achieved your goal. So a servant leader mindset is that they put others first, they put those who they serve first, and they make the success of others their goal. Okay. A servant leader mindset is to help others solve problems and challenges. One of the most effective things you can do as a leader in a team or organization or a brokerage is to see what challenges other people are having, to see what problems they're having, and put things in place that would solve these problems, that would allow them to do their jobs better, that would take away the barriers and the challenges that they currently have. Okay, so a servant leader is always thinking about how can I solve the problems of those that I serve. Okay, a servant leader is always thinking with the mindset of enabling others' success. How do I put others in a position to succeed? A servant leader has the mindset of helping people grow. Okay, growing personally and growing professionally. A servant leader has the mindset of empowering others. How do I empower them to take more action, to take better action, to grow, to feel better, to do more, to have more, whatever their goals are, whatever will make them feel good and do better, right, for themselves and for the organization. A servant leader uses and practices emotional intelligence, and we'll talk about emotional intelligence later on. But basically, how do you get the best out of others? How do you communicate with others in a way that you can get the best out of others, and that you can basically lead very effectively when you are leading others? Okay. A servant leader has the mindset of creating an environment that allows other people to thrive. A servant leader is always thinking about what needs to improve in order to help people succeed. Okay, what needs to improve in order to help people succeed. And a servant leader is always focused on coaching, developing, and supporting other people's success. So these are just certain things that to get in the mindset of as you practice servant leadership, putting others first, make their success your goal, helping them solve problems, enable their success, help them grow, empower them, use and practice emotional intelligence, create an environment that allows them to thrive, and always seek to coach, develop, and support other people's success. Right? So if you're ready to be a servant leader, here are kind of the steps to begin on that journey. First is having the willingness to serve, right? Having the willingness to serve others. And not everybody has that, but it's definitely something that you can develop if that is something that you don't have. Second is building emotional intelligence. And I'm going to show you that in the next slide, then I'll come back to this list. Emotional intelligence, if you look at the very top, and there's a book on emotional intelligence I've read before, and we developed training for sales organizations for when I worked in corporate stuff. So, but basically, the entire concept or the components of emotional intelligence starts with self-awareness, being aware of your emotions, being aware of yourself, and if you go counterclockwise, being able to regulate yourself and regulate your emotions, having the social skills to communicate with people effectively, having empathy for other people, and being able to motivate other people. And this is a great practice as any leader in any organization, whether that be a sales organization or any type of other organization. Things to practice to be an effective leader is emotional intelligence, being self-aware, being self-regulated, having the social skills to communicate effectively, having empathy for others, and being able to motivate others. If you want to get more info on that, I suggest picking up the book Emotional Intelligence and reading that. There's a lot of leadership training that's been done to kind of model after that. Okay, so have the willingness to serve, build emotional intelligence, build the right habits, and lead by example. The habits that you want other people to embody and follow and do. Okay. Number four is creating that servant leadership culture, which we talked about, kind of what servant leadership looks like. So practicing that, putting that into action, and creating that culture and that attitude of servant leadership. Creating a clear set of values. Maybe you're already utilizing what your brokerage has in terms of what their values are, or maybe you're creating your own or adding to that, but having a clear set of values. And all of that will also allow you to do the next thing, which is building trust, a feeling of safety, and a supportive environment. Okay. As you do those things, as you have a willingness to serve, as you're building and practicing emotional intelligence, as you're doing the right habits, as you're creating a servant leadership culture and having a clear set of values, and actually doing these things and being in alignment of these things, you will build trust, a feeling of safety, and a supportive environment. Very important that you also celebrate the success of the individuals on your team or in your organization. And lastly, develop other servant leaders. Okay. So here quickly are the steps of servant leadership: the willingness to serve, building emotional intelligence, building the right habits, creating a servant leadership culture, creating a clear set of values, building trust, a feeling of safety, and a supportive environment for your staff and organization, celebrating their success, and developing other servant leadership. Right, other servant leaders. So practicing servant leadership is the number one thing you want to do in order to provide the most value and opportunity to your agents while increasing profits and gaining time. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about creating an environment that allows them to thrive. And what does that look like? First, I'm going to share with you, components of an environment that allows people to thrive in pretty much any sales organization. Then we're going to talk about a few examples more so closely related to real estate. So, what does it look like? What does that environment look like that allows people to thrive, that allows people to basically do the most, be their best, be very happy, and contribute to the growth of your organization? One, that environment looks like having a servant leadership culture, which we just talked about. Second, it looks like solving the biggest challenges and breaking down the biggest barriers that your people have. And we already also talked about that, kind of being intentional about solving their problems, solving their challenges, and kind of creating this environment that leads to their goals. Okay. It looks like an environment that has the right resources in place that allows them to thrive. And we'll take a look at what these resources look like in the context of real estate. It looks like an environment that has the right tools that allow people to thrive and conduct business effectively and efficiently. It looks like an environment that has the right structure that provides the support and the value and the opportunity for people, and that can also include things like having the right accountability components there, having programs that are there that incentivize people and having incentives there, making sure that this environment is well aligned with the people's goals and values and beliefs, and also making sure that this environment that you're creating provides growth, right? So let's take a look at some of these things, then we'll come back to this list. So what do resources look like, right? So when creating an environment for your agents to succeed, one of the things you need to have are the right resources. The resources that your people can get answers from, that they can learn from, that they can utilize, and that they can be supported by. So that may look like having access to people, departments, or other staff that are there to provide answers, that are there to support, mentor, develop, coach, right? That are there to learn from and mirror their success or model their success. This looks like having sufficient training, okay, that allow people to get all the knowledge that they need, all the answers that they need. And it might look like having video or file libraries of different maybe scripts, presentations, forms, marketing material, things that people can actually utilize, right? So having the right resources in place to allow people to thrive. Obviously, there's a lot more to this, but I just wanted to simplify it, and I think you guys get the point. Uh, Having or creating an environment to allow agents to thrive in real estate also includes having the right tools and systems in place. The tools and the systems to help them build a strong business, to help them process transactions, to help them pretty much do all of the tasks that they need to do on a daily basis effectively and efficiently. There's a whole list of systems that's really needed in our real estate business, and I discussed that in some of my other classes. I won't get into all of that right now. Also, creating an environment to allow real estate agents to thrive. Uh, this is a very important one, is having the right structure, or having a structure that provides the agents the most value and opportunity, right? That provides them the most value and opportunity in order for them to thrive. What does that look like? It looks like having the most benefits, right? Or offering them the most benefits possible, the right financial package or compensation structure, incentives to help them, be more interested and excited about their work, and also be able to do more and hit higher targets. Maybe there are certain savings, that you can provide them as well. So what all the benefits? Think of any employer that's hiring someone and providing benefits. What are all the benefits you provide? And again, that could look like your financial package, your compensation structure, financial incentives, financial savings that you provide. Providing agents the most support possible. And what does that look like? Is providing them the right culture, the servant leadership culture, the supportive culture, having in place people, departments, and staff, and other resources that they will help them. Various forms and layers of support available for the agent or the agents there. Third is the most training possible. Are you providing them, or are you able to provide them all the knowledge that they need in order for them to carry out all their business activities that they need to do effectively? Providing them the most overall value in comparison to the marketplace, okay? And providing them the most growth opportunity in comparison to the marketplace. And I say in comparison to the marketplace because you're not the only team out there, you're not the only brokerage out there, you're not the only organization out there that's making those agents an offer, right? So how is your structure offering them the most value, the most opportunity that really allows them to thrive? Think about, are you offering the most benefits, or can you offer the most benefits? Are you offering the most support possible, or is there room for improvement there? Are you offering the most training possible? Are you offering the best value there is in comparison to other organizations in the marketplace? And are you providing them the best possible opportunity for them to continue growing, right, in comparison to the marketplace? So do you have those things in place? And if not, rather than creating it yourself, can you plug into a structure that already has that in place? Does that exist, right? So, and I will tell you that structure does exist. And again, I'd love to help you implement some of these things and put some of these things in place. So at the end of the webinar, you can feel free to schedule a call with me, and we can dive more into some of these things for you. So again, the right environment that allow people to thrive, that allow your agents to thrive, looks like an environment of servant leadership. Looks like an environment where you're helping people solve their biggest challenges and their biggest problems, where you are breaking down barriers for other people to allow them to do what they do effectively and efficiently. An environment that provides the right resources and has the right resources in place for people to learn from, to get answers from, to utilize, and to be supported by. The right tools and the right systems for people to utilize to do their job, right? A structure that provides people the most value and the most opportunity and allows them to thrive. Having accountability in place, having programs into place, having incentives into place. So, quick story on that. There was once a college organization that had a very low average GPA if you looked at all their members. And they decided to implement this simple program, and it was an accountability program, basically like a buddy system, right? With some accountability component and a financial incentive. Now, the financial incentive was small, but people are competitive in nature. So, combining a small, program with a buddy system, an accountability component, a small financial incentive, and the competitive nature of people, in 1 year, this college organization went from having the lowest average GPA to having the highest average GPA for organizations on their university campus. And the reason I know this story is because I was their education chair that year and I helped implement this simple program. So think about the challenges your organization is having and what simple programs, incentives that you can implement to kind of solve that problem or to get people going or to create, kind of a quick progress or big progress in a short amount of time. When you think about your environment, also the environment you're creating, make sure it's an environment that aligns with people's goals and beliefs and values. And that's why it's really important to have a clear set of values. And as you're bringing people into your organization, making sure that there's alignment there. And last but not least, and I think I mentioned it a few times, is having a growth opportunity. People want to grow and people want to be in a place where they can grow and they will have opportunities to grow, and that could mean in the responsibilities, or that could mean financially, or both, right? So practice servant leadership and create an environment that allows people to thrive. The last thing we're going to discuss, and we'll try to keep it short, is having effective and efficient business operations, right? In studying a lot of corporations and companies and what most organizations lack, studies will show you that there are two things that most organizations lack. And those two things are communication and efficiency, right? If you look at a broad study of organizations, corporations, whatever, you'll see that most organizations lack communication and efficiency. So what does that mean? Communication is, the people or the team being on the same page, right? And efficiency meaning being the most productive with the least amount of time, effort, cost, and resources. Basically, doing better or doing more while doing it faster, leaner, and more cost effective. So most organizations out there lack these two things, right? Or basically, this is where their biggest room for improvement is: communication, being on the same page, and efficiency, being more productive, doing more or doing better while being faster, leaner, and more cost effective. Here are quick solutions to solve these problems. So whenever you go into an organization or you see a team and they kind of have these things where they can improve, the quick solutions are increasing and improving communications. Basically, looking at how do we currently communicate? What are the tools that we use to communicate? How frequent are we currently communicating? And then improve the tools that are currently in place for communication and increase the frequency of communication, right? So that's how you can kind of get everybody or more people on the same page in a fast amount of time. Second, discard the unnecessary costs. So look at all the things that you're spending money on and see where you can cut cost, where you can be more cost effective. And three, streamline operations and processes. Look at the things that are being done, possibly being done in many different places differently, possibly being duplicated unnecessarily, and seeing how you can make this more efficient, how you can streamline the process, how you can create just one effective process that everyone can follow, and that will be very efficient and very effective. So again, if communication or efficiency are areas where you can improve, think about these three things: increasing and improving communication, cutting unnecessary costs, and streamlining operations and processes. So you want to look at quite a few things as you're running an organization or a team or a brokerage. You want to look at your cost of the systems that you're using, the cost of training or having those trainings, the cost of marketing, the cost of staff, the cost of resources, the time that you spend, which is very valuable, your other fixed expenses. So that could be maybe office rent or what have you. That could be equipment that you have, and variable expenses. This could be maybe a cost per transaction, a cost that you have for every transaction that you have, right? So you want to look at these things. And what you want to do is review and analyze where you currently are at with all of these things. So you want to have a pretty clear picture of all of these costs on the left. Then you want to look at leveraging technology. So looking at what systems can allow you to do this better, faster, and more cost effective. You want to look at better processes for the things that you have. So look at your processes and how you're doing the things you're doing, or how is your team doing the things you're doing, and what better process can you have into place that is leaner, that is again more effective and more efficient. You want to leverage your brokerage resources. So instead of spending a lot of time and money on things that may be already there, so your training, the marketing, legal, other expenses, there might be resources that your brokerage or a brokerage can provide for you that you can pretty much save a lot of time and money on. So what resources do you currently have, or can you plug into that will help you do that? And once again, if if any of these things you can use help on, or you don't know of, or you want more information on, I'll be happy to share that with you. You can just simply schedule a call with me, and the link is right there, calendly.com/backslash MenaBadros. Schedule a call with me, and I'll be happy to provide you more information and walk you through any of these things. So what we talked about really is having a leadership strategy. And that leadership strategy is the servant leadership strategy. Second is creating an environment that allows people to thrive. And that looks like a servant leadership culture, being able to solve people's problems, and an environment that provides, that supports, that incentivizes, and that promotes other people's growth. And last but not least is having effective and efficient business operations, basically leveraging better technology, better processes, powerful resources to help you do better, to do more with less time, less effort, less cost, and exhaustion, less exhaustion of your personal resources. So, how do you provide the most value and opportunity to your agents while increasing profits and gaining more free time? How you do it is by implementing a servant leadership strategy, by creating an environment that allows people to thrive, and by having effective and efficient business operations. If you would like some help implementing these things, as I mentioned, there's nothing to sell. I would love to help you, however, in any way I can. So just book a call with me, go to that link, schedule a 15-minute call with me, and I'll be happy to help you. So hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully at least you got one thing that you can implement. As if you've been on other webinars or classes with me, you know my philosophy is unapplied knowledge is simply entertainment. So rather than trying to take 100 pages of notes, take one thing and apply it, and that one thing will make a difference. Again, hopefully you guys got something out of this. And if I can be of any help at all, please schedule a call with me, and I look forward to chatting with you. All right.